Everybody loves a good first-person shooter. Well, most everybody. Probably most people that are watching this video, right? With the new consoles out and a new year right around the corner, I thought I would do what everybody else is doing right now and taking a look at what's in store for us over the next 12 months. Welcome to ChaosGaming. Today, it's all about 2021 and FPS games. We are going to be checking out the 10 best first-person shooter games that are launching in 2021. You let me know in the comments which of these you're the most excited for. Drop a like, turn on those notifications, and here we go. Kicking things off is S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Now, this was a horror FPS series from the late 2000s. It's been forgotten. It only got 3 games before it actually called it quits, but it was announced a few months ago that we're going to get an official continuation. I'm excited for this. The original S.T.A.L.K.E.R back in 2007 was pretty cool. We had 2 prequels, respectively, and the game was praised for its visual. The atmosphere was good, but it never managed to break into the mainstream. There was a lot of different reasons. Heavy competition was the main one. And after a 12-year hiatus, we're getting an official sequel. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 finally got its first trailer back in July of 2020, and it's set to launch in 2021 on the PC and the Xbox Series X. Next up is Apex Legends next-gen version. Now, this was EA's attempt to get in on the Battle Royale craze, and they hit gold with it. It's a spin-off of the Titanfall universe, and it carried over a lot of the best aspects of that series, like the movement and the shooting, while creating a unique VR experience that brought in a lot of elements of hero shooters. Apex has been up and down throughout the last year and a half, but it has still been very successful, and we know it's going to be coming to the new consoles next year. EA hasn't exactly said when it's happening, but it's going to be soon. Plus, there's even going to be a Switch port coming out by the end of this year, and allegedly, mobile versions are on the way. Now, needless to say, EA has big plans for Apex Legends in 2021. Here's another one a lot of people don't know about. It's called Wrath, Aeon of Ruin. Now, this is probably the most unique game title on today's video, and Wrath is a pretty unique project coming from the developer Kill Pixel and publisher 3D Realms. It is being built on a modified version of the Quake 1 engine. Very, very interesting, making it the first major game release on that engine in 20 years. So, what kind of game is Wrath? Well, no shocker here. It's a fast-paced old-school FPS with some RPG elements to add the customization and replay value. The level design? It's interesting. It's presented in a non-linear way. It lets you pick from 3 hub worlds with different themes, each with 5 levels inside them. So you can actually tackle the game in whatever order you want. It's set to release in February on the PC, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Switch. So if you're a fan of old school FPS games like Doom and Quake, arena-style shooters that are fast and fluid, keep an eye on Wrath. Next up is Rainbow Six Quarantine. When did we get a teaser for this? Wasn't this like years ago? Following the success of Siege, a lot of people were wondering if the series would ever go back to its offline tactical shooting roots. Well, yes. Quarantine may be right up your alley if you're one of those people. It is a 3-player co-op PvE tactical shooter set in the future of the current Rainbow Six universe. It's going to have you facing off against some bizarre alien creatures that infect human hosts and alter their surroundings. So, no, it's not going to be a traditional Rainbow Six games in terms of theming, but in terms of gameplay, it is looking like Quarantine will be a return to form in a lot of ways while still carrying over many of the advancements made in Siege. It's supposed to launch in 2020, but it quietly got pushed back to 2021. There's no established release date yet, but we're pretty certain it'll be here before the end of the year. At number 6 today, Shadow Warrior 3. The rebooted Shadow Warrior franchise has been solid. Over the top, fast-paced, ultra-violent, and extremely fun. It's everything you can want from an FPS game. Now, Shadow Warrior 3 is right around the corner, and according to the devs, it's going to be closer to the first game than the second in terms of their level design, but it's still going to keep the extremely fast pace and dynamic combat of the sequel. It's also going to introduce a ton of new mechanics to make the combat more addicting and fluid than ever. Now, it's set to release on the PC alone in 2021. There is no exact date yet, no word on console ports, but I'm willing to bet we're going to get information on both of those after the holiday season. At number 5, set in a fictional island in the Caribbean, Far Cry 6 is going to have you face off against the evil dictator in the biggest sandbox in series history. It will build upon the gameplay improvements of Far Cry 5 while also making use of the next-gen hardware to give you incredible visuals and supposedly an endless list of things to do with our time, which is something the Far Cry series has always been good at. Plus, the main villain is being played by Gus from Breaking Bad. That's all you need to know. Take your money, right? There's no set release date yet, but we know it will be launching by the end of 2021 for everything. PS4, PS5, Xbox, Xbox Series X, PC, Stadia, Amazon Luna. So yeah, the Ubisoft porting team, they've got their hands full. At number 4, Exomecha. Not a lot of details here, but we tried to dig up what we could. I have a feeling Microsoft is really going to be pushing it within the next few months. It's a free-to-play multiplayer FPS, kind of looks like a mix between Crysis and Titanfall, which is cool, with a bunch of robot dragons thrown in the mix, which is even cooler. The announcement trailer was at 2020 Xbox's conference, and the game looks good. Now, there's no set release date right now, but you can sign up for the beta on the website, and the developers have confirmed it will launch next year on the One and the X, and I'm assuming PC. So if you're like me and you've been waiting patiently for Titanfall 3, this may be the perfect game to fill that void. At number 3 is a default entry, COD 2021. Now, Call of Duty is riding a high point right now. Modern Warfare was a huge success. Warzone is popping. COD Mobile is popping. And Black Ops Cold War is off to a good start with Warzone about to launch. But if you've been following behind-the-scenes drama, you're probably as curious as I am as to what happens next. Treyarch had to throw Black Ops Cold War together in about a year, I think, after Sledgehammer Games allegedly got booted out of the series. This leaves the future of the franchise in question. We have no idea who's actually developing COD 2021 or what the setting is going to be. Now, it's still a ways out, and Black Ops Cold War is fresh. I get it, but I'm curious. I want to know. Maybe Infinity Ward will get fast-tracked to this one with Modern Warfare 2. Maybe a new studio will be brought on board. Maybe we'll get Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered. Maybe Raven gets their first shot. I don't know. At number 2, Deathloop. One of the most unique games that I have ever witnessed. It's basically Groundhog's Day, but with guns, assassins, and some really cool art style. Developed by Arcane Studios, it has you playing as an assassin trying to complete a series of objectives, but they're also caught in a time loop. So every time they fail or get killed, they start over. Reset button. It creates an addicting trial and error gameplay loop that I think a lot of people are going to grab hold of very, very well. There is also going to be a multiplayer mode where another player takes control of a rival assassin, attempting to foil the first assassin and break their time loop. This is set to launch on the PS5 and the PC in May of 2021. And at number 1, there was no shocker here. Halo Infinite, the game that was supposed to blow us away already. We're supposed to have it in our hands right now. But it's been delayed until 2021 in order for 343 to polish it up and make sure that it's not a disappointment like Halo 4 and 5 were. Infinite is going to be the conclusion of their games. And if you've been following the stories, you know they're kind of in an awkward spot. Halo has undergone a lot of changes over the last few years, but going off the demo footage of Infinite, it seems like they're returning back to the basics with a few changes. It's supposed to launch for the X, but it was delayed till next year. And according to insider reports, there are a lot of technical problems that are being ironed out. Now, 343 has reportedly been bringing in industry veterans to help polish up the story and make it as good as possible. I'm okay with this. I know a lot of my peers are worried about the game, and myself included. Nobody wants to see a game get pushed back, but if it's getting pushed back for the right reasons and they're trying to make it where it's an actual finished product, which never happens anymore with video games, I'm okay with this. And there you have it. Those are some of the best 2021 FPS games that are on the way. You guys let me know what you're most looking forward to, what is going to get your money, and I'll see you soon.